all the abilities to know you better self. Sure, sir, that would be okay, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, so I will start with a small introduction of the GDG Cloud Initiative. So, hello everyone, I'm Siddharth. I will be your answer for today. So, I guess my screen is visible up. I can just get a thumbs up in the chat or a raise hand. It will be clear to me that I'm here now. Okay then. So, starting with GDG Cloud Bhubaneswar. So, GDG Cloud Bhubaneswar is a dynamic local community of developers in Bhubaneswar. We welcome both the Google Cloud enthusiasts and developers all over Bhubaneswar, and our main aim is to foster an environment where we can both, like the developers or experts, mentors, can both develop together, taking help from each other, and basically making our community thrive on inclusivity and welcome developers from all walks, whether you are a student, a community professional, an operational enthusiast, everything. So with this, I guess let's move on to about the event. So today's event is basically on deploying a Python Flask web application on Google Cloud App Engine. So basically, let me give you a small gist what we will be doing today. So we will be taking a web application built using Flask framework in Python, and we'll be deploying it on the Google Cloud Platform's App Engine flexible environment. So small about the App Engine. App Engine is a platform as a service, like which is known as PaaS. So Google App Engine is a PaaS offering that allows developers to build, deploy, and manage their web applications without worrying about the underlying. So you just need to build your app, deploy it on the Google platform. You don't need to worry about the underlying asking processes which is happening about the Google Cloud. So with this, let's move on to our host for the day, Mr. Biswanath. So it is my pleasure to now introduce our distinguished host for today's session, Mr. Biswanath Giri. He has more than 15 years of invaluable experience in IT industry. He has been a driving force behind various successful businesses. His commitment to continuous learning is clearly visible in a vast collection of certifications, including Google Cloud, HashiCorp, Terraform, Microsoft Abuse, and Amazon AWS. I'm sure that his mentoring and position today will be a great advantage for all of you who are going to dive deep into Google Cloud or any of the cloud platforms. So let's not wait more further. And I would like Vishnu sir to take over the stage and start this session.
Then I think it will be better to give some overview how you can start your cloud career and what is the prerequisite, which area you have to work on. That would be better to start. So based on that, let me give one quick overview. Uh, okay, so actually, I would like to explain a little bit more about how to start cloud career because nowadays people are, ultimately they are growing with new technology and with the digital transformation journey. So then, which area you need to work on, then you can successfully you will be landing into the cloud job or cloud career, right? So first, you have to little bit basic understanding about the networking with the TCP/IP protocol, how the communication is being established from device to device and mobile to device. All these things, your laptop to server, and how you are giving the response and the how the URL is working, whatever you are putting in the URL. This is the basic you should understand. Then the second step, if you have some understanding about the access management, how you are accessing. So could you please tell me whether my voice is audible to all? Please, yes or
Yes,
no?
sir. Yes, sir, your voice is audible.
Okay, all
And
right.
it's clear, yes, sir.
Okay, thank you for confirmation. So, like the basic understanding of access management, whether how you are going to access, how you provide the access, right, in the internet, or which environment you are working. So, need the access. Basically, when you are logging to your laptop or your working on any environment, so you need the permission, right? So you need to understand. Step 3, whether you are very familiar with Windows operating system or Linux operating system. This is the mandatory, like if you are moving to IT career, then you should have some understanding of Linux based operating system or Windows based operating system, right? So then move on to the step 4, the server. So anyone can tell me something little bit about what is server? Just put in chat. What is server? So we are getting response or not? I mean, we have to explain because yeah, Basanta is also yeah, that's a good yeah. So this is the right thing, like server, which will be help us to uh, to how we can deploy our application, and then how we are getting served, and the huge amount of capacity to handle our server from the different geographic location or wherever you are. But you can think of like it is a it's like a lab computer, but it is a large configuration computer, like a higher CPU, higher memory, all these things, and how we can set up our redundancy, fault tolerance. All these things is managed in the server to handle our to 24 into 7, how it can be provide the support to whatever the application is up and running, right? So okay, so now my fifth step, like nowadays we are moving to virtualization to containerization world. So if you have little bit knowledge on VM, as I have already mentioned, so the VM based, if you know, then slowly we are moving to the container based, right? So you should basic understanding of the Docker and container. Then step 6, at any programming language, whether it is Python or Java or Go, it depends on your interest. So you should go for any programming language that is required. Then if you also build your career with, or you start with some basic script writing, like shell script, some other script area, you should know little bit the scripting if you are trying to build your career in cloud. So these are the important, and also if you are very curious to move on to the cloud, so to the starting point to start preparation with any certification, the fundamental certification, if I'll talk about Google, so you can start with CDL or associate cloud engineer, will be helpful to authenticate, and you can know little bit broader way about what is cloud product service and how it is working. All this area you can a little bit know quickly. So this is all about the key technical area which will have to work on it. Then you can start your cloud career easily, without any pain point or without any struggling. You don't go here and there. If you know the basic, you can start at least to start learning the cloud career, so that will be helpful. So if you have not started all these basic things, so you start learning and try to explore more on that, then we'll move on to the cloud technology, how really it is working. Basically, in cloud, on the fly, you think of the cloud has designed in such a way that multi-region, region, and zone. So zone is nothing but, a region is nothing but, it is a data center. If you know something little bit about what is data center, then you can able to correlate. Where our workload is up and running, where is our server is up and running. So our server is up and running in the any particular zone or region or multi-region based on the product and service. Google has launched the product, the global product, regional product, multi-regional product, and zonal product. Then based on that, where our service is on product and where your stop is up and running, so based on that you'll think of. But really you try to understand like how exactly the Google Cloud working from your corporate office, how you are able to log into Google Cloud, how you are able to connect through your any home. Suppose you are in home or you are in college, you are in corporate office, then how you are connecting to Google Cloud. That is the basic important point to clear. Then you can able to understand how and where our application we are deploying, where our database is there. So all these things you can easily encounter, right? So as you can see on this slide, so whenever you are trying to access the Google console, if you know a little bit more about how we are accessing the Google Cloud, so okay, let me use that. So this is the URL, the console.cloud.google.com. This is the URL. So when you will able to access the Google Cloud environment, so this is the URL you can able to log in. But first of all, you need your authentication ID. Whether you are a Gmail ID or corporate email ID, so you need the email ID. Then based on that, you need the password. So as soon as you put your Gmail ID or corporate email ID, then you put your Gmail ID password, or your where if you are working in any organization, so you have to put the password to enter into Google Cloud platform. So as you can see in the circle, so this is Google network. So Google network is a global network. Once your network is created, so across the globe, across the world, you can able to reach. But how exactly the concept lie into or reside in this behind the scene, let me explain. So once you enter into the Google Cloud, so Google broadly way Google created your network for you to connect with every data center. For example, we are from India, so maybe our location, so two data center, one is Mumbai and another one is Delhi. So the naming convention like Asia South 1 and the hyphen A or hyphen B, all these, that is called June. So let me explain, like in a particular region we have three zone basically, like on top like Zone A, Zone B, Zone C, something like that. But the region itself is a sub network. If you little bit know about the networking, then you can able to understand the subnet. So actually if VPC created, you have to create the subnet. Subnet really allow you to create the provide the IP address to launch the server or any machine if you want to create inside the data center. So that is high level, I'm just explaining, but you try to learn little bit more about, then you can able to easily understand how exactly in the service, whatever service we are going to deploy, whether it is a infrastructure as a service or platform as a service or software as a service. So try to focus and try to know a little bit more about the infrastructure as a service, platform as a service, and software as a service. Then how Google providing that service in Google Cloud platform, then you will clarify your doubt. So start learning about that topic. But this is the real scenario where we are connecting from the corporate office to Google Cloud, where we are connecting from our home to Google Cloud, and how our resource is deployed. So our resource, let me show you one slide. So where our resource is really deployed. So this is kind of you can see. So this is the data center. Actually, think about this is a data center. So if you know something data center, so in the left hand side you can see this is the real data center. Imagine that. So think of Google is not disclosing where they are created the data center, but somehow I got one image how they have set up the data center. So we are talking about region. So this whole infra we are calling region. So in this region we have divided or segregated in three different zone A, zone B and zone C, with the identical data center that is connected through Google internal load balancer. If you know load balancer, what is load balancer, you can easily understand how they have configured, right? This is the real data center, and how our workload is up and running. For example, any Google product and service, how it is working. So in this diagram you can able to understand. For example, you created one server. So where is that VM? So you can imagine our VM inside the June. I mean here in our June our server is up and running, right? So similarly, how the LB is providing the load balancer, if anything goes down or if something goes wrong, how Google providing the 100% service to the end user because of load balancer. Load balancer has been set up internally to serve the or to serve the I mean maximum time availability to provide the service to the end user. This is the high level overview how we are working in Google Cloud environment, how we are reaching from on-prem, or how we are connecting to your home to Google Cloud environment. This is the overview I explained. Now I move on to the actual agenda for the today. So I hope I am audible. Uh,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, you are audible.
So can you please put in chart this concept? Are you guys clear or do you have any doubt? If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Then we'll move on to the actual agenda. Okay, let me check quickly the chat. Okay, most of the people saying yes, yes, yes. I mean, I think concept is clear now. Now move on to the actual hands-on how we are how we'll working in the Google Cloud platform and how we are deploy the application in Google Cloud product that is called App Engine. Okay, perfect. Now we'll start the hands-on demo. Okay, so how many of you little bit know about the skill boost? Yes or no? Could you please ping on chat? Skill boost, Google Cloud skill boost. Okay, no. Okay, okay, some majority people know, but few people are few okay, not much idea. Okay, that I'll cover little bit more about that. Okay, so so skill boost is nothing but it's a Google hands-on platform. So if you don't have how to create the account, so through Gmail account you can able to create that, and how to create, let me show you one demo. This is the URL skillboost.google, and as soon as you click that link, you just log in with your email ID. As you can see, I have login with my email ID. So you just log in with your email ID, then you'll be getting some credit because Google sometimes launching the free service or free credit you'll be getting, but you have to eye on your social media platform, and you can follow Google Cloud GDG Bhubaneswar also, and some other Google global social handler. They are just publishing when they are providing the no cost or free credits or this kind of things. So let me explain the real agenda. So the today topic I'll be discussing deploying a Python Flask web application to App Engine Flexible. This is the topic, but what we'll be covering in this topic. So how authenticate API request and testing the application locally, and exploring the code and deploying the app to App Engine Flexible. This is our agenda today. But how to start lab and all this, let me explain one by one. In the left hand side you can see there is a start button. As soon as you click, then will ask to use the credit, then click on launch credit, so credit point. Then lab will start, the virtual environment will create, and then Google will provide the username and password, some similar to your ID and password. If you'll be working on real environment, so you need the ID password similar to that. So Google created the virtual ID password. Then what you'll do, you'll click on any incognito mode. So let me copy the password, then click on incognito mode. So here asking the email ID similar to the virtual email ID I just put here. Then let me put the virtual password to log into Google Cloud Platform, where I explain before in my talk how you will able to log in your Google Cloud Platform. You can able to correlate how, if you are in your home, if you are in your corporate office, then how you can able to log into Google Cloud Platform. So this is the option which we can able to log into Google Cloud Platform, right? So now next step, based on the lab instruction we'll follow. If you have this skill post, you can also practice with me. Whatever I will be providing, you can also follow my instruction, so that will be helpful. So what you will do, first you will have to gcloud auth list. This command will help you to check your authentication details. But before going to check, Google Cloud Console, the Google Cloud Console is nothing but there is a virtual machine which Google providing for every Google account to play around your Google Cloud environment, whatever project you are working on. So this is one of the virtual machine Google providing to interact with our Google Cloud product and service. So anything you can do. So in the command line tool, once it is Cloud Shell enabled, then to check the gcloud auth list. Auth list will really to check which account you have login, whether it is your account or someone account you are in this particular platform. So we'll check, right? So then the next the project. So let me explain the Google Cloud project. If you don't know related to the project, so let me explain a little bit more about the project. What is the project and how we are working in Google Cloud Platform. So in the project, Google Cloud organization, you think of in your if you are in college, if you are in any organization, there is some organization name, there is some department, there is some team member. Then lastly come into the picture the project. So the really we are residing the any product with the project, but on top of we have a team, we have a department, we have an organization. For example, you are coming one of the organization called ITR, right? So this is one of the college. For example, this is a college organization, but in this college we have different department. Maybe IT department, maybe it's some mechanical engineering department, right? Some electronics engineering departments. All department are in the different and the different team members are there. So based on that, you can think of in your college perspective, you think of, then you can able to understand. Then this is the project. For example, you are working in a assignment called project. So the teacher providing you a assignment called project, but in this project you have some team members are there. So 5 team members, 5 students are there working in a particular project. But what we'll have to do, we'll have to achieve one goal. So whatever the material you are using, that's up to you. So similarly in Google Cloud, so whatever the service we are using, that is will be coming under the project only, right? So I hope you understood this concept. So let me know if you understand the project concept or not. Please put yes or no in chat window. What is project? Are you guys able to understand what is project? Yes, no. Can you put on chat? What is project? Okay, silence means okay. Yeah, we are getting response. Perfect. Yes, yes, yes. Most of the guys say yes. Okay, great. So now, like audience is very attentive now today. I'm happy. That's why I'll share a little bit more technical today. Uh, yeah. Sam, am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Okay, okay, all right. So today audience is very energetic. Okay, all right. So now talking about the project. So the project Google in this particular lab, Google provided a virtual project for us that is called Quick Lab GCP, right? So okay, let me go to this. Yeah. So but the project also you can check some similar to this. This is the command line. You can check the project also. So gcloud config. So okay, gcloud uh, gcloud config list. You can check the details. You can say technically you can see the details of your the accounts and projects. This is the project name which we are working on, right? So this is the command gcloud config list will help us to check which project you are working on. So now this is one of the sample code which is publicly available. You can download, right? So how to download this command? Really earlier it was we are using gcloud gsutil, but a little bit changes recently for the storage, gcloud storage. So we are using the gsutil. So this is the copy command. If you little bit aware about the linux based things, then you can able to understand how the copy command work, how it is copy from the public repo. So let me quickly check whether it is copied or not. So you can see my code is copied. So let me check my code. There is one more option, open editor. So you just click on open editor. Here you can check the code details. This is initializing the code editor for me. So but meanwhile let me go to the next step. Then I'll go to the folder which we just copy from the public repo, right? So let me go to that folder, ls minus ltr, to check the details my code here. But some other option, as I explained, just click on open editor, you can check. So still it is initializing. So okay, so now let me go to the next steps. Now task 2, like authentication API request, right? So this is the command export the project. So this is the environment variable. So whatever we will do, if you are working in a project, but you have to set up an environment variable. Why we are putting the environment variable? Because if it is 100 time it is required the project ID, right? So instead of putting manually, or instead of every time you are calling that, so you can create a environment variable. So that environment variable will help us to set up your script or anything whatever you are doing for this particular task, right? So this is the environment variable command, but whatever you are doing in Google Cloud Platform, but based on that how you are authenticate and authorize. So here the authentication we use your virtual ID and password which Google provided, but sorry, authentication, but authorization you have to use a service account here. Service account, if you little bit know more about service account, or maybe I'll explain. Service account is one of the accounts, one of the member. So it is a universal, I mean it's a this users is a you can handle everyone. For example, you are in a team member, right? So ex team member. So but in this particular team, so this team we have X, Y and Z member are there, but in this team we are using the SR, service request user account, right? So this will help us to instead of creating X ID, instead of creating Y ID, instead of creating Z ID, we just create one service account, then my team will able to work on this multiple task. So this is the concept of service account. So let me quickly come back to create a one service account. So this is the gcloud command, but various way to create the you can able to create through command line, you can through create the console, you can create the script, and you can create Terraform code. So okay, let me copy that and I'll paste over here. This is the command. Yes. So my service account created. So my service account created or not, how will check? Let me tell you. Here you can in the left side you can just click on identity access admin and click on service account. This is called the service account. Then you can check whether my service account created or not. You can see service account created here, right? This one. So this is the confirmation, quick confirmation to check whether my service account created or not. So then we'll provide the responsibility, this service account, which activity will be performed, right? So let me do that and quickly check the rule I'm providing. What are the rule I provide? Let me quickly check and show you and explain in details as well. So you can okay, so now let me explain. For example, my service account I just created, but which rule and permission is required to perform in my Google Cloud Platform. So that rule you can see the owner rule, editor rule, and the service agent rule, editor, owner, viewer, all these rule I provided to my service account. That who will access my service account, they will perform whatever the ownership or viewer, any product they want to use or to play something, to watch something, so they can able to do. If I'll remove the owner, so he will not able to perform the ownership. If I'll remove the editor, he will not able to do editor things, right? You can understand in that way. Okay, so now move on to the next the service account permission and grant the permission. Now what I'll do, I'll create a service account key. So this is the gcloud command to create service account key, but some other way around. So in console also you can create. Let me show you that. Okay, let me refresh whether my account key is created or not. Quickly check. You can see my service account key created just now, right? But in console also you can create. Click on that service account. Then here there is option to add key or remove key. Here just click on key. As you can see that here the key recently created, then you just add key, create key. This is the option how to create key. So you hope you understand the how to create key, but through gcloud command I created the key, right? So now move on to the next. So this key I want to export, I mean I want to create the environment variable. So let me do that. So I'll check whether my environment variable is created the key.json or not. Let me check. This is the command print env to check the whatever the variable you have defined, whether the variable is created or not, you can check here. So here you can see the Google Cloud Authentication one. Okay, let me find. You can see here. This is the environment variable. We just set up as a environment variable, right? So likewise, let me go to the next steps. So this part done. Let me check whether my the process is already completed or not. If you completed, then it will check green. So how many of you working this lab? Let me confirm, please. Yes or no? Those who are uh, skill boost account, you can perform this lab. Okay, perfect, great. uh, okay, good to know. So advanced guys. Okay, now test the application locally, but how the virtual environment, if you know a little bit more about Python, so in the how will set up a virtual environment. So this is the command virtual -p python 3 environment. This is the command to set up a virtual environment. Then to create a source, so this is the command to create a source, right? So then I'll just if you guys are very much aware about it, so let me quickly complete. I thought you are learning right now, so that's why I was taking much time to explain bit by bit, but it's okay. Let me try to complete quickly. If you are okay, yes or no. So this is I'm going fast or slow, or I'll have to explain little bit slow, or can you please ping me on chat whether I'll go first or I'll explain a little bit slow. Already done, sir. Okay, great. Good to know you have already completed. Okay. So then let me complete the other as part of this lab. Okay. So my source created. Now let me create the requirement.txt file. Okay. Can you please tell me why requirement.txt file is required? Some Can someone tell me why requirement.txt file is required here? Anyone? Those who have completed the task? Why requirement.txt is required? Okay, silent means I think. Okay, so let me explain why it is required. Okay, so requirement.txt file, what are the dependency is required to install for this task. So generally requirement.txt file, the package dependency if you need for your project. So that's why the requirement.txt file. And now the next, creating a app engine. How to create app engine? So I can explain. So you can create through gcloud command, or you can create through console. So which region will create? So basically we will create our India region. So let me select the India region. So it would be better to use India region, or maybe for lab perspective always you should select the US Central one, because US Central one are the virtual machine. So for the lab perspective, most of the resource which is creating in the US Central one. So whenever you are practicing hands-on or working on the skill boost, so uh, I would recommend you'll select the US Central one. That will be helpful. So let me quickly verify my app engine is created or not. So how will track app engine? There is number of options. You can go through all product. You can find the app engine. Otherwise, you will directly type your app engine in the search bar. So you just click on app engine, then you check my app engine started or not. Okay, so let me check. Creation is the project. US region central is done. Okay, so now I've selected the region, but I have to deploy, then it will work, right? So let me do that first, then I'll check. So as you know that my okay, so before that you have to create a bucket. So if I'll talk about the bucket, so GCS bucket environment variable I created. So now I am going to create a bucket. So how to create the bucket? This is the command gsutil mb, and this is the command, and the name which I am using for now, this is the project ID I am creating to using to create a bucket. So let me quickly confirm my GCS bucket is created or not. You just type here GCS bucket, so then you can, that is called cloud storage. So you can check whether my bucket is created or not. You can see just created my bucket just now, right? So now my bucket is created. Now move on to the next steps. What I'll do and check my progress. If it is done, then it will mark as a green. So now the actual the code I'll deploy. Before going to deploy, I'll show you the code through the code editor. Okay, it's taking little bit time. Let me cancel and refresh, and let me open once again, then I'll show you the code editor, right? So yeah, so it's like a visual studio source shape code. I mean, if you know a little bit more about ID, some any development tool, if you have used Visual Studio Code or PyCharm, some other tools as well. Similarly, Google Cloud Shell also integrated with the some multiple ID, so that will reflect here. But anyway, it is taking some time, so let me go through the Cloud Shell CLI environment. Okay, so let me go to Flex. Okay, so here, okay, could you please confirm whether I'm audible or not? Maybe yes or no?
Yes, sir, you are audible and clear.
Okay, okay, all right. So now let me start the deployment of the code, or just I wanted to show the code editor, but still it is taking time. Let me open in the different windows. That will help me. Okay. So before going to the code, I wanted to explain the code. That code I just copy from the public repo. Yeah, so now this is the code structure. You can see this is my YML. This will help me to deploy, but before going to deploy, I need to update the bucket name, right? So the bucket name which I created just recently, I created one bucket. That bucket name I need to put over there. So let me copy that bucket name. the bucket name. Let me update here. So I just updated the bucket name and my main.test py file. So this is my piece of code. The routing is happening, and this is, as you know, if you know a little bit more about the Python, you know the dependency or the library and input. This is the library input. Main file is required to perform this task, and the function which we have defined, as you can see, three function methods you have, and the main method just in the different the different track we have written. I mean, you can check, this is the calling, this is the main function, and which will be starting my application from here, and everything will be linked up with my main. So you can just if you have, because this code is publicly available, so you can track that. And the key which I have created for to interact with this application, as you can see here, this is the service account key. So whenever you will be working on any service account, so make sure that should be a private. You will not expose to your any version control. You just create an environment variable and put in somewhere else, but don't push your code directly to version control environment, or if you are using GitHub or something, but maybe your account will be hacked, because through this key you are able to interact with the GCP platform. So the best practice will not to pull this whole code. Try the best practice to set up an environment variable, then you will use the service account, right? So now move on to the next step of this part of this session. So okay, so I am here. Just let me start the deploy, code deploy, then check the result. uh, yeah, so Python. Okay, so my deployment started. I'll check, just check my deployment started or not. Let me quickly check through how we will check that. So that also I'm telling you, the cloud build help us to deploy code. So let me quickly go to the cloud build and see my deployment started or not. Here you can track if deployment started. Okay, just let me check whether my deployment started or not. Okay, local application, this is my local application. As you can see, through this URL I am able to access this application, Google Cloud Platform face detection sample. This code is all about, right? This code is all about this. So I can able to access locally. So now that if I am able to access locally, then I can this application I want to deploy in the Google Cloud App Engine flexible. So how I will do that? So let me explain. So now just you can also test something, you can test your you can put some file here. Let me put this one, this image, right, and click on submit. You can see there is some error. This is the good thing, to runtime you can encounter this error, cannot determine the path without bucket name. Okay, let me troubleshoot this, the path without bucket name. Okay, so the bucket name I have provided, at least in my code. Let me check. or let me save that code. Yes, let me save. Okay, so uh, the locally I am able to access, and okay, so now you just locally this is working. Now I'll go to deploy into the cloud environment, right? So what we'll do for the main .py file, will little bit will change something, right? So what will change, these are the library, this is package, the client library is required to communicate with the Google product and service. So this library I'll put into the main.py file, right? So let me put that file into main.py, right? So this is already there, right? So what you can do, after this, I'll check the code, this is the piece of code, and the home page, I'll just homepage.html I want to show. This is the home page, and the home page text, as you can see, these are the piece of content which is displaying in our URL. So this is the home page, right? So now what we'll do, we'll some steps will modify in our app.yml, then we'll go for the deployment, right? So there is two way to modify, whether you'll use the nano command or at the console you can use in the editor here, right? So you can use the editor as well without using nano, right? So here what we need to update here, so the manual scaling instance I need to put 1, right? And the bucket name I already mentioned, but I have to put the manual scaling instance equal to 1. So then the code will be looks like this. So okay, so that some independent error should not be, yeah. So this is looks good as per the instruction. Now we'll go for the actual build, right? And before going to do that, so let me press the Control C, because local application was open running in my local environment. So let me cancel. Okay, let me Control C. Just press Control C, it will be exit. Control C. If you are using Mac, then you will use Command C, right? So this is exit. Okay. So now this is, we are all about in the last phase of this discussion. So now I'll use this command to extend the timeout. So let me go to this, and okay, let me go to the folder, the where we have downloaded that. Okay, and here what I'll do, I'll put the uh, cloud build timeout to 1000 already set. Now the actual deployment will happen, right? So gcloud app deploy, my code will be deployed into my my app engine flexible environment. After deployment, I'll validate whether my deployment is successfully happen or not. I'll just show you. So this is the actual deployment process, like through CLI, but you can use various way through CI/CD pipeline, through some console manually you can also deploy. But my deployment started. So how the actually what the background, in the background what is happening? So let me show you. That is most important, because you are in the fly, right? So actually what's exactly happening in the background, so you have to check. So let me open the app engine flexible app engine. So here you can see the app engine, right? So my application deployment started, so it will be visible after some time. Just my deployment already started. Yes, now 60% done, as you can see, 60% done. So once it is 100%, then you can able to access, right? So I think this is our, okay. So once deploy successful deployment, then I'll just validate and check. So but most important thing, we are using the app engine. So app engine is nothing but it's a platform as a service. So you don't worry about your underlying infrastructure. So Google will be taking care of your underlying infrastructure. So only will focus on your piece of code. As you can see in left hand side, only will focus on your code. That's it. Everything will be taking care of your infra. The Google will be taking care of your infra, right? So this is the power of platform as a service, which is called app engine. But there is two flavor. One is app engine standard and another one is app engine flexible. So today we are working on app engine flexible, right? So let me quickly check once deployment is done. Okay, so here let me quickly check. This is some error. My deployment is failure. It's a good thing, so we can encounter the error and we'll troubleshoot it, right? So the cloud could not find the version that satisfactory requirement of this requirement.txt file. Okay, so what mistake, okay, done. So whatever the virtual environment I had created, that somehow disconnected, so that's why this problem happened. So let me quickly fix. So the virtual environment I had created, let me again create my virtual environment, then I'll start the deployment. It will successfully done. Okay, so let me again process, because cloud shell, it is a, this is also a virtual machine. So somehow it disconnected, then the virtual environment gone. So that's why it's happened. But let me create quickly the virtual environment for my deployment, then it will work for sure. So now let me install here, then the actual deployment I'll do that. Yes. So this is also good thing. If you real time, if you will encounter some error, then if you are able to fix it, this is a good practice. If you are not getting any error, if you are everything is working smoothly, then I mean it's not the good experience. You face some issue, then how you'll resolve that. This is the power of troubleshooting in the runtime, right? So that you can see here practically. So now so deployment will happen successfully. Let's wait. Again error. The requirement version, this is text txt, currently no matching the distribution of this. Okay, so maybe whatever we are using currently, so this is not fetching the actual requirement.txt file, so that's why this error is coming. But this is the whole process to deploy this application. But as we check locally, it is working, but in cloud run we are not able to deploy because of this requirement.txt file, it's not supporting, right? So this is the issue. But yeah, let me check cloud built logs. Cloud build logs is also it's showing. You can see the cloud build logs also will show you build store. Okay, this is the fail step. Fail step will the 0. Okay, could not this satisfy the requirement version 3.1 version. Okay, cloud version 3.1 requirement line number 4. Requirement docs line number 4. Okay, let me check the code. Okay, requirement.txt line number 4. Requirement.txt line number 4. Okay, this one is the issues. Okay, so okay, let me check any are you guys replace the bucket with your project id name? So that already done. Project id name we have placed, right? We have already changed that code in the project name. Okay, let me check one more time. The bucket name, yes, the storage bucket, as you can see, this is my project name. This is my project name. Just let me cross verify. This is the project name. Okay, so project name, yes, this is the same bucket name. There is no changes. Okay, let me quickly check details logs. You are using this, however the version is available and you should upgrading this to this. Okay, let me use this command to this command. Okay, let me use this command, suggested command. Copy this and let me use here. Okay. Okay, so here let me, so this screen is freezed for me. Let me go to another tab and go to the CJD flexible option and let me put this one, no path and directory to upgrade. Okay, let me put this upgrade command. Okay, let me upgrade this, it will work. Then so the other suggestion command is okay, the other suggestion command is still requirement, that is also already done. Let me try one more time. Okay, here this could not require such file directory requirement.txt file ls minus ltr. Okay, requirement.txt file txt. Okay, so typo error. Okay, so now one more time we'll try fdeploy. Yes, meanwhile also we'll check in our cloud build the runtime log, trace and check the real-time logs. Here now build started. Let me check the build started now. As you can see, my build started. Anyone any question replace the bucket with your project ID. I have already done that. Let me check the lab instruction, which we have followed properly or not. Yes, we have followed properly. Yes, yes, yes. The bucket also environment variable we have created. Okay, this is also we had done with our local environment. Let me try. Local environment is already up and running, right? In local environment is working fine. Let me check in my local environment. Yes, local environment is working fine. Local environment, let me upload one file, submit. There is a issue. Yeah, maybe there is some issue. They're not able to encounter the bucket name. So bucket we have already defined, but why it is not able to fetch the bucket name in our code? So that I have already followed that, but why it is not able to fetch my bucket name? That is quite surprising for now. And based on this lab instruction, we did that, but why it is not working? Because of there is maybe if this kind of issue will happen, what you will do, let me show. In this help you just create a chat support, so the support team will help you. If it is something issue, some issue is coming, then the support team will help you to successfully run this lab. So I think there is some there is some updation in the backend, so that's why it is not working properly. But if you are stuck somewhere else, you can which option will follow? You'll just click on help and start live chat with the support team. They will help you out. That will be helpful for you. Then you can see the image will display here. So now what we can do, that part is done. Then move on to once done, then let me close this in local machine run. So as you can see, locally it is up and running. So let me cancel. Okay, so now let me check the progress. It's done. Now let me explore the code. First we'll go to main.py file, but how to open and I'll check. So let me click on open editor. So in this open editor, as you can see, if it will take some time, then you can click on to open in different windows tab. Probably it will work. And as you can see, that's the okay. Now I can use this different tab, and let me click on the workspace, so which we are using. Okay, so in this workspace, to check the code main.py file first in main.py. Okay, so based on this lab instruction, we have this input Google Cloud Client Library, Datastore and storage and vision. So let me quickly check. Yes, this is in place. And so okay, let me check the homepage HTML file. This is the homepage HTML file. So let me modify something like uh, welcome to GDG Bhubaneswar. Welcome to GTG Cloud. Cloud Bhubaneswar, Google Cloud Platform face detection. Simple. So maybe I'll put in separate header here. Let me separate line. Welcome to GDG Cloud Bhubaneswar. Okay, so now perfect. A little bit change in my home page. Then deploy the app to App Engine Flexible, and just to modify this file, app.yml file. So this is the total content, the whole content I need to replace here, but I need to put the bucket name. So based on the lab, let me put the bucket name is my project id. On project id I have created the bucket name. So I hope all set now. This will work perfectly. So let me quickly check the Python version 3.3, but earlier it was 3 version. So now it is 3.7, and few things is updated based on the App Engine Flexible supported. So okay, so now let me save and then save it, this file, save it and save, and let me go to okay, just let me open cloud editor, let me connect, and here let me put the Google Cloud config setup, Google Cloud build timeout option. So that's done. So Google Cloud build will help us to CI/CD here. So then let me start the Google Cloud app deployment here. Let me deploy and let me put yes. Now it will start. My target URL, my project and service account all set. Now it will start the deployment. So as you can see, started. Meanwhile, I am just observing the two things. One is a cloud build, and app engine to confirm app engine. Okay, engine, and so here, as you can see, my app engine application created, but deployment was pending. So the deployment we have triggered, so it will happen, but let me check the history here. Okay, now it will start. File uploaded, done. Uploading file to Google Cloud Storage bucket. So now the build trigger, you can see this is started in cloud build. Yes, as you can see, this started now, and the option you can we can check the logs here, what the steps it's up and running for the deployment of cloud app engine flexible. So this is the real hands-on, and the similar kind of things you will be working on the real-time project. So you can uh, understand that which level of understanding or which level of learning this hands-on will be helpful for a project. If some task will get to deploy the application into the app engine, then how will deploy all the process. So make sure you clear, then you can able to deploy whatever the process we explain, that will be really helpful. So now quickly let me open the app engine. As you can app engine here, you can see my app engine details. You see the default service already deployment is going on, but say reflecting my default service, right? So now it's throwing server error, but ultimately it will work once deployment is done. So let us wait sometimes, then we'll just validate, right? So meanwhile you just go through the code details. This is my requirement.txt file, the all the dependency and binaries, or what is the binary is required for this task. All these version is we have defined here. Flask version 2.03, and some other dependency we have defined here. So and this app yml file, this is the real one which is helping us to deploy our deployment yml file to deploy the application into the cloud. So this is a very simple, but the same format, same process will follow when we are going to work with the real environment. So this is the overall view and overall structure of the application. So one more thing, you can also check the application folder structure. So that one, let me show you. Once deployment done, I'll show you the folder structure, what would be the folder structure. But anyway, here also you can see in the UI, this is the folder structure, and this my parent folder is flex and version. Then this is the environment, and this is the bin folder, and uh, this is the library packages, or all the packages folder, right? So and the main code, main.tf file code is here, and anyway, so this is the app.yml. So now so as you can see, update service maybe take several minutes. So it will take some time, but ultimately it will successfully deployed. Let me refresh here. Mm, okay, there is the deployment has not been completed, but anyway we can check the logs where we are, right? So you can check the logs. Here let me run the log SQL query also. This is the log. I think it's 200, and is there any error? Fail region. Okay, no warning. This is warning. Liveness check and log you can check in the our global log. So but generally yes, deployment successful. Let me find the URL. This is the command app browser. that browser. So this is my URL to access this application. So you can see the locally you know we tested, it was working perfectly. So now after deployment in App Engine Flexible, it is also working perfectly, our application. So this is all about our today's demo. Welcome to GTG Cloud Bhubaneswar, and this is the piece of simple Python Flask based web application code just tested, and what are the procedure we follow to deployment, and as part of the deployment time, how we'll check the real time deployment through Google Cloud Build. So Cloud Build in one of the tool that will really help us to to our continuous integration and build to help us to build the application to Google Cloud Platform, I mean App Engine environment. So this is the overall things which we cover in as part of this agenda. So I hope you all are understood. So whatever error encounter, so I fixed that error and deployed into our App Engine Flexible environment, and now it is working perfectly. So let me quickly check the number of my traffic is 100%, and the instance also you can check, and the instance is up and running. You can also SSH to the instance, and this option is an instance is also healthy, and as part of the any scheduler, but as part of this agenda that is not so yeah, this is the high level, like how we are going to deploy. So here one more thing I'd like to add on, like you can split your traffic. If the traffic load is coming high, you can divert your traffic to any other version. So this option is also available, and this is one default service we deployed. And dashboard also you can check the logs and the detailed statistic you can check over here as well. So I think that's it, and thank you very much for this session, and thank you for joining this GDG Cloud Bhubaneswar. And I hope this hands-on lab will be helpful for your real life project whenever you are going to deploy any or whenever you are working in a live environment. If the task will come, like if you are working in a Python based web application, if someone will tell you, hey, this application we want to deploy in Google Cloud App Engine Flexible, then what the process you need to follow. So that process we covered in this session. So I hope this video will be helpful, and stay tuned to get more update, and they can ask me.
Sure, sir. So we can proceed to that. Anyone from the audience, if they have any question, they can like either raise hand or just unmute and go. Anyone from the audience?
Yeah, so definitely let me my screen is visible, right?
Yes, sir. Your screen is visible.
Yeah, if you are really interested to start your cloud career, you can also, I am also putting the content, cloud content, how to build career, how to pass exam, and technical architecture also I am providing to those who are working professional. So you can also okay, you can also watch my YouTube channel, Medium
Can we have
article,
like yes?
Medium article, all these things, like here the Medium article, the useful content you can get from my end. And you can feel free to connect with LinkedIn. Let me put my LinkedIn URL. Let me put my LinkedIn URL. Give me a second. So this is my LinkedIn URL. You guys can connect with me, and don't forget to provide our form. After this session, we'll provide you one feedback form, and which kind of session you want from us. So definitely will be coming next time that kind of event. So your feedback will be helpful. Yeah.
Sure. Okay then. So I guess again I would like to ask if anyone has any question, please ask. Otherwise, let's move on to wrap up. Thank you, Vishwanath sir, also for sparing time from your busy schedule and take the session for our attention. Thanks a lot, sir.
Yeah, thank you for having me with this wonderful session. Thank you and have a great day, all of you.
Thank you, sir. Also for all attending. Oh yeah, we're having some doubt. Okay,
No,
so also Biswanath sir already have given links for his YouTube channel, his Medium link to LinkedIn. So if you have any queries or any doubts, you can just go there and ask him. Also, I have given the link to GDG Cloud Signature page, so feel free to join that if you stay tuned with the upcoming session. Also, we are sharing. I have shared the QR for the feedback form here. You can scan and give your valuable feedback. What kind of more session you want, like to have us like organize in the upcoming time. So that was all. I hope you liked today's session. Thank you. Have a great afternoon ahead. And yeah, yes. Thank you.
thank you everyone. Bye bye. Have a good day.
Have a good day to you, sir. Too.
Yeah,
Thank you for the
thank
session.
you. Bye bye.
Bye, everyone.